don't believe me? I will show
And of course,
you my
this is the
psycho-kinetic power.
place where he moves your
Put your
controller.
controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you
And
can.
I have always hated that.
That's good.
Why the hell does Snake have to nod to the player that it's okay that he puts down the controller? Why the hell did you need that? Isn't that kind of ruining the point? I mean, from what I understand, Hideo Kojima's plan with Metal Gear and at least the Solid Snake saga was to put the gamer in the shoes of Solid Snake to make the gamer connect with him. That's why he didn't have a lot of features in the original games, and he wasn't, you know, that it wasn't all that distinctive. Was just a guy, because the gamer was supposed to connect with him. But here it's like you're trying to remove the gamer from Snake, but you're just sort of, you're just sort of an onlooker. Because here Snake tells the game, okay, it's okay, do that. I mean, yes, as I've said, Kojima breaks the fourth wall too, but he does it in a completely different way. He's not that obvious about it. It's just... I just think it's ridiculous. There's no point in having Snake nod to the gamer that, yeah, put your controller down, it's okay. It kind of destroys the illusion that you're inside, that you're playing as, that you are Snake. I mean, I know it's a game and all, but come on. Anyway. Now it's time to start the fight against Psycho Mantis. And of course, for those of you who don't know, in the original you switched to the second controller port to be able to beat him, otherwise he could read your every move. In this version it's basically the same thing, but since you have 4 controller ports, it doesn't help, at least in the long run, to just put the controller in the second port. Because I've tried to do that, and then it helps for a little while, and then he starts reading that. So you have to put it in the 4th controller port. And some of you might wonder why I have the thermal goggles on, but that's so I can see him even when he puts on his stealth camouflage and when he's invisible. And why I am ducking, well, that's because then you can't get hit by any of the things he throws around, and you can still shoot him since you have first person. In the original this wouldn't have worked, but in the original you had to time your ducks and time and shooting, because you couldn't shoot while lying down or in first person there, so there you had to duck underneath the objects, and when they disappeared you could shoot them a couple of times. But here you don't need that. Here you can just lie down shooting and shoot him in first person. You just have to be aware that if you look around in first person for too long, you get into that Psycho Mantis view thing. And now, of course, I have to get up and punt and knock out Meryl again. But I have to say that this fight, both in this and the original, is a very unique boss fight, really, because I don't think I've ever seen, not before or since Metal Gear Solid, I don't think I've seen any other game utilize a controller in that way. That, okay, you are on the first controller port and it won't work because he can read your every move, but if you move it to the second, or in this case the 4th, he has no chance of reading it. And that's a very unique idea to me. And I've also heard that, and I also know that a lot of people never understood that. They never got that's what you're supposed to do. They tried and tried to kill him, they couldn't hit him, they went around trying to shoot him, they went around trying to punch him, and nothing worked. And that's because And I haven't done this here either. That's because I know what to do, because I've played the original and so many times and all. But yeah, they didn't know. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? Because they didn't call the kernel enough. Because if you're new to this, you have no idea that that's what you're supposed to do. You should call the kernel. I don't know if it's 3 times or more, but it's so and so many times, and then he suddenly tells you, of course, the second controller port, that's what you have to do. And that's something a lot of people never caught. So a lot of people never got past this section until they either heard from some of their friends that that's how you're supposed to do it, or they saw it in some sort of article or something. Or maybe even several years later when they could use the internet more efficiently.
Right, Naomi?
Yes. But why did you go so far out?
Because when the original of this was released, I don't think the internet was really around then.
Maybe it's
It
because
was
you like
just starting, I think. No, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Oh, really? Since when did anybody's death bother you?
But anyway.
So much?
Naomi, it's true that Snake has killed a lot of people, but that does not mean he doesn't have a heart.
And now we again get a great performance by Naomi, which you might have missed because I talked over it, but anyway, now we've managed to defeat Psycho Mantis. We get a little, I don't know if you want to call it backstory or whatever from him.
You used that. I wasn't able to read the future.
The strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own.
Perhaps so, but I will read your future.
By the way, I remember a while back, a few years ago I think, when there were rumors that there was a Metal Gear Solid movie in the works, which has been confirmed now, but back then it wasn't even... I don't think they had even started thinking about that. It was just someone who was hoping that it would be done sometime. And I found this site, website that had kind of... I don't know if he suggested or was just what he hoped to see, and he figured, okay, they were probably gonna do that they were probably gonna do a movie adaptation of this game, the first game, the Metal Gear Solid 1. And I really liked what he'd done in terms of the cast there, because he had listed up his suggestions for the cast. And I don't remember all of them, but one that really stuck in my mind was for Psycho Mantis. He thought Marilyn Manson would be best. And when I thought about it, I mean, when I thought about it, I kind of agreed with him. I mean, I don't know how good of an actor he would be, I don't know. But the look, yeah, definitely. He would have the perfect look. So, the Metal Gear Solid movie that is supposed to come out in the beginning of next year or something. I think, unless it's been cancelled or something. If they are going to do movie adaptation of this game, which I don't think it was what they were planning, but if they are in some way including Psycho Mantis, they should definitely consider Marilyn Manson. Although I don't think that'll happen, but I just thought that was really fun. Anyway, that's not what this is supposed. This review is about. This review is about this game. So. Oh, and that is something that, of course, is a bit better in this version of the game, opposed to the original. The face of Psycho Mantis, because I mean, you got the general idea in the original too, but because it didn't have a lot of features and all, it wasn't all that easy to understand what exactly he looked like. But you got the general idea that he had some sort of stitches on his face and all that. But of course, it's much clearer in this version.
To bury your past?